My innovation project is titled Genius Hour. Genius Hour was first called 20% time by companies such as Google and 3M. Google allowed employees to use 20% of their time at work to work on a project that they were passionate about. Projects such as Gmail and Google Earth were born because of 20% time. Another company using 20% time is 3M. Post-it notes were created by a 3M employee during this time. When employees were allowed to work on a project of their choice, their intrinsic motivation allowed them to be exponentially more productive. This was where Genius Hour idea came from and eventually moved to K-12 education. My students will be learning how to choose a passion project and develop this project over a period of no more than 7 weeks. After developing their project, they will share it with the class and their parents using the Seesaw app as a sharing tool. The first step in this process will require students to create a Shark Tank pitch. Their pitch will include what they will research, why they chose that topic, what action steps will they take to complete the project, and finally, how they know their project was a success. In order to narrow down a topic that students are truly passionate about, we will complete a Passion Madness bracket challenge. Students will come up with a list of topics they may be interested in researching. They can find topics through online research, friends, family, or other sources. Students will use the bracket to really narrow down which topic they would like to pursue for their passion project. I will introduce some examples of inventions young children have made as inspiration when students are starting this project. I will let students know that they do not have to create an invention, but this is just one idea they can pursue. Moe's Bows is a company that was first discovered on Shark Tank. An 8-year-old boy, Mo, created his own bow tie company. He chose to pursue sewing bow ties because he loves dressing sharp. His family helped him to learn how to sew and create the bows. Next, I will share the research and action steps with my class. Each part of this process will be a mini lesson with my class. Students will be developing their projects over several weeks. The first step is coming up with an idea. We generate ideas during the bracket challenge. Next, students create and share their Shark Tank pitch with the class. After determining their topic with their pitch, students will research the topic in depth. They need to become an expert on their topic. After they have done their research, they will create a way of sharing the information. This is where the Seesaw app comes in. Students will create a video or visual to share on Seesaw. Then they will share with their parents and then the class through a presentation and Seesaw. Finally, students will reflect on their project. After we finish the process, we will start again. I will post these action steps somewhere in the classroom. Students will move their name to a new step as they move through the process. This will allow me to see where they are at in the process. It will also encourage the students to stay on task and not take too long on a given step. One mini lesson will include the class creating a rubric together. We will determine what is important. What will the students need to include in their presentations? What will be required to score well on the project? This will be a class discussion as the students are starting their videos or presentations. Never stop trying to inspire your students and always say yes. Tell them that their ideas matter. This quote is inspirational to me because I want my students to be independent thinkers. I want them to be creative problem finders and not just problem solvers. It is so important for students in the 21st century to know that teachers and parents want to know their ideas. They are the future and they are the next generation. This is even more important in a time where TVs, tablets, computers, and other devices are taking away imagination and creative thinking. Genius Hour is an important opportunity for students to work on a project that they care about. So many times in education, teachers call the shots on what students are learning. Genius Hour puts student choice back into learning. How does my innovation project connect to Innovator's Mindset by George Couros? First of all, empowerment. I will empower my students to choose their own learning and to continue to develop their project independently. I will provide mini lessons that guide them on the right track, but also give them time to develop their projects and research independently. I will allow the students to take the lead. Leadership. Through this innovation project, I will be focusing on my students' strengths. They will be 1% likely to be disengaged because they can focus on a research topic which they enjoy. Great leaders practice balancing trust and autonomy while providing strong mentorship. This quote from the text Innovator's Mindset fits very well with my project. Students will be allowed autonomy in their research and their project. I will serve as the mentor. I am demonstrating great trust in my students through their topic choice. Empathy. At first, Genius Hour will be difficult for students. They will continue to look to their teacher as the person to tell them what to do and how to do it. They are not used to this level of autonomy. I will have to implement empathy for my students throughout this process without allowing myself to take back the control. I will ask guiding questions as my students learn. Changing education. Genius Hour is a perfect example of changing education. It is not a traditional way of teaching. Typically, the teacher dictates the topic, assignments, and assessment. When students are working on Genius Hour, there will be a shift from teacher-led to student-led learning. Quality professional development. Genius Hour allows teachers to utilize many of the concepts within the book. This is an opportunity for teachers to shift the learning to their students. Reading blogs, viewing webinars, and allowing students to try out Genius Hour are just a few steps in the right direction of quality professional development. And finally, relationships, relationships, relationships. Students in my class have developed a relationship with me throughout the year. I feel confident that they can work through this project at their own pace, staying focused on the task. At this point in the year, I feel confident that all of my students will stay on task. In addition, I feel they'll be intrinsically motivated. Building a relationship of trust throughout the year is an important aspect that will allow Genius Hour to be a successful project in my classroom.